All right. It's the sound of the final Malarkey Hour of 2019 coming right at you. This is your host, Matt. And with me, my co-host, John. How's it going, sir?
What's up?
We have another wonderful year behind us, sir. Another year alive. Another year that we made it through.
Well, not officially.
Not officially.
Recording this a few days before the new year.
So you're not optimistic about your week ahead, John? To make it through.
I'd say the odds are in my favor.
Right?
You
Or we're taking odds? What is the line on you making it to 2020, John?
Celebrity death. I'm not a celebrity.
You're sort of a celebrity, John. People know you.
Do they?
Right? Like what is the difference of celebrity?
I don't know.
What is the difference of celebrity? Because you know what?
When I go out, they're like, "Hey, didn't you hit on my wife?"
Right?
She didn't tell me she was married.
Right? And you're like, in my defense, I didn't know she was married to you, sir.
Right.
Such a big gentleman there.
Right.
No, John. So since this is the last show of the year, and this is your favorite podcast of the whole year, I think.
Usually,
right?
But I don't feel great about my list.
Okay, so tonight's episode we're gonna do our best movies of 2019. John enjoys. I've never seen. John's not a happy person.
No.
Most of the time, but this is like he's like a kid when he's
you can hear the joy.
John,
in my voice right now.
Yeah. John loves doing this podcast. He loves putting his list together because he likes giving his opinions on things.
I just like lists.
You like lists?
Mm-hmm. I don't care what's on them.
All right, but especially movies. I know you like movies. You like going to movies.
Let's go real quick because we didn't do our 2018. I don't want to go. We're not going to go over it. What was your number one of 2018?
My number one 2018 is Sorry to Bother You.
That was your one?
Yeah.
Okay. It's all right.
And it's still my number one. If I were to go back and revisit that list, I still have it at number one.
I believe I had it as an honorable mention.
Yeah.
But mine, you already know. Mine was Hereditary.
Yeah. Unfortunately, John's 2018 list was a little flawed. That's the reason I decided not to air it. I don't want him to embarrass himself.
No, I was pretty confident. I liked my 2018 list.
Nah, just kidding. Yeah, I think we had radically different lists. So we'll see this year how different our lists are.
And another disclaimer. Not disclaimer, but I did not see very many movies this year.
Oh, let's go over that. How many do you think you saw?
I don't know. You said you counted.
I have on my list, on my spreadsheet, I have 48 movies. I probably missed like 2 or 3. I don't remember, but.
No, I saw less.
That's like close to one every weekend.
Yeah.
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 52 weekends in a year, right? 52 weeks.
You should be a math professor. 48 is close to 52.
It is close to 52. Some would say 4 less than 52, John. But since I'm not really a math professor, I couldn't verify that number.
There's 52 weeks in a year, right?
Mm-hmm.
Does that mean there's always 52 Saturdays and Sundays, right?
Yes.
Okay.
I think. No, not always.
It
depends on when months start.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say, too.
Yeah.
So, yeah, that's what we're doing on this podcast.
We're talking about months.
Yeah.
Days.
Now, I feel like I like my list, but I don't love my list because there are movies that I didn't see, I want to see still.
Mm-hmm.
And there's stuff that actually hasn't even come out here yet.
Yeah.
We're in Texas.
There's we're full of disclaimers tonight. Just my disclaimer for tonight is, there's that movie Parasite.
I never touched her.
That movie Parasite that everybody was talking about. I never got to see that. I finished half of Marriage Stories. I can, comment on the quality of it. Of the first half was okay, but I heard it was a great movie. So maybe the second half was great. Like you mentioned, 1917 hasn't come out yet here. Yeah. Although I probably should have seen it. I think it was already out in LA when I was in California this past week.
Probably.
Yeah. So, John, do you want to start the list? I think you always start every year first. I'll let you start first.
Why do I have to go?
I can start first if you want.
Yeah, I'll go.
Okay.
Alrighty.
So you're number 10, John.
Bum, ba-dum, bum, bum.
We should have like some sound effects, right?
Yeah, you've been working on that soundboard for a while.
Yeah.
How's that going?
Yeah, it's going.
Yeah, I'm gonna get shit for this one because a
Alright.
lot of people didn't like this movie.
Okay, here's John's number 10.
My number 10 is Midsummer.
Midsummer. Ah.
Yes.
Directed by Ari Aster. His
Right.
second film in 2 years. I don't think it's the second film ever. I think he's had other ones, but
Okay.
second film in 2 years. Second film in 2 years that you've had in your top 10.
Correct.
So what did you like about Midsummer, John?
I like what this guy's done so far, even though I think you told me he doesn't want to do horror anymore.
No, I don't do it. Yeah. He wants to do different stuff, yeah.
It's like, I want to do romantic comedies, Matthew McConaughey.
Mm-hmm.
But I like the occult stuff. I really like it. It's fun. But I like it because I think I told you, everything in that movie totally could happen.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
every single part of that movie could
Yeah.
totally happen.
Yeah. It's a scary movie.
And I don't want to give a lot away, but
It is one of those hard things, right? Because we're doing films from this past year. Some of these films people may have still not seen, and I already see a bunch of films like we do. So
And I think it is better at the movies. That movie.
Yeah, it's an
There's
immersive.
something about the setting.
Yeah,
Something about the lighting and just being outside for a lot of the movie.
yeah.
And I don't know.
It's a dark film, even though it's filled with nothing but light. Right? Like it's
the
a
the
bright-
story's not complicated, but if I say any part of it, you give it away.
Essentially, it's a story about a breakup. I guess it is a story about a breakup. It's a really messed up breakup, but a breakup nonetheless.
Yeah, that's why I think this and Marriage Story, I couldn't tell the difference.
But yeah, it's a physical You know what? I think the closest thing I can describe it to is the closest physical manifestation of a breakup. The emotions that somebody may feel during a really devastating breakup, and this is how it would manifest physically if crazy shit like this can happen. Well, it can, but I don't know if that makes sense. I'm trying to
Yeah, and
not say too much,
but you can compare it to The Wicker Man, right?
Yeah.
That's a good comparison.
Yeah, a little bit. Yeah, but yeah, I mean, it's the emotions that come from people. People are really in love, and they feel like the other person who broke up with them are being a little shitty. This is how those emotions feel like.
Yeah,
It's devastating.
And it was a low budget, 8 to 10 million.
Yeah, no, it's a great film.
I thought, it's one of those things. I think it helped to see it at the movies, and it was creepy as shit. Hey, do you remember? I saw it with you.
Mm-hmm.
Remember that girl ran out crying?
Yeah, that was weird. Yeah, she was sitting like
Yeah.
in front of us a little bit.
Yeah, like you could hear, like I could hear some crying, and then eventually she just
got
ran
up.
out crying.
Yeah.
Because there is some like graphic, disturbing shit
There is,
that happens sometimes. When
especially that first scene is really.
I didn't want to.
The opening of the film
Yeah,
is really. Well, I don't give it away, but it sets the tone for the rest of the movie.
yeah, because I'm like, well, that happened,
Yeah.
and I was like,
Yeah.
I can't unsee that.
Yeah. Yeah.
There's a few things in there, like it's not for the whole family.
No. Yeah.
Yeah,
It's definitely one of those films that it's not a kids movie, but I say that in there's some films where like okay, like it's violent or there's nudity, but this is adult themes. Like a kid wouldn't, even if you take away any like nudity or it's just the violence, the themes, the kid's not gonna understand. The kid's not gonna understand. Oh, this is how a breakup feels. This is an adult movie. Like it's an adult subject.
yeah, and
Definitely for adults.
the main girl in it is really good.
Mm-hmm.
She's cast as like this clingy girlfriend, but she's good in it. Like that's the point. Is like,
Yeah.
he feels like she's like.
But you know what?
like, it
It's
feels like
she's a clingy girlfriend,
but
but
to him, she's just like got a lot of baggage.
Yeah.
and like even that's what they're telling his friends.
Yeah.
Are like, hey,
she's going through some legitimately emotional times.
Yeah, when you see the beginning, you'll
Yeah,
see
it's-
like,
it's-
that probably bothered me for a couple days.
a couple years, probably a couple decades. So it's like it's not out of the realm for her to be acting the way she was. So to be honest, it's just the guy's being an asshole a little bit. I mean, but not. he's being an asshole, but at the same time, you can identify with him because if maybe he wasn't in love with her, and if he has to deal with what she's having to deal with, and
Yeah,
him as the
not
boyfriend,
it's not an ideal time for a breakup.
Exactly. But when is there? There's no ideal time to break up with.
Yeah,
But
I think they go. Where is it? Sweden.
yeah, it's Sweden.
And then and just think of all the fucked up stuff that happens like in cults, because cults are real.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know.
Yeah.
I mean, I've been in a few, and just think of all the weird shit that they do, and just at the end of the movie, you really can say everything in this movie is possible, 100%.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Which is not the same as Hereditary, because there is a little bit of supernatural stuff in there.
Yeah.
Not saying whatever, but
yeah.
But yeah, okay. So I got this guy again in my top 10 with his Midsommar.
Midsommar. It's a great film. All right, John. My number 10 is a film in the same sort of dark realm as yours.
Marriage Story.
Marriage Story. No. My number 10 is The Art of Self-Defense by Riley Stearns, starring Jesse Eisenberg, Imogen Pete, and Alessandro Nivola. I don't remember Face Off, the movie Face Off.
Yeah.
Remember the brother of Nicolas Cage's character in Face Off?
Yeah, the one with the glasses.
Yeah,
or when he keeps having to tie his shoe.
Yeah, he's in this movie. Alessandro Nivola.
Same glasses in Face Off.
Yeah, he has glasses.
Okay.
Yeah. Did you see this movie?
No, I wanted to, and then it stopped airing, and I forgot about it.
It's actually I saw it today.
Oh really?
Yeah, I rented it, and this is the closest thing I don't want to give too much away because there is a little bit of a twist. But the closest film this is how I described it after I finished seeing it to myself, and it's like Fight Club for the millennial generation.
But it's a comedy, right?
It's a satirical take on masculinity. That's how I looked at it.
Okay.
Yeah, and it's
put that in your blog.
Yeah, like Fight Club was Generation X, right? This is how Generation X looked at society and materiality.
I like Fight Club.
Yeah.
Like I still, it's very rewatchable.
Fight Club dealt with being materialistic. This film deals with masculinity and how, in this day and age with social media and if you're looking at it as a man, like how a man is supposed to act in today's society, and as a millennial, this movie deals with that. Like, hey, are you a man enough? Are you being a what you consider a masculine man? And it's hilarious. I was gonna say funny.
The trailer looked funny. That's why I was.
Yeah, it's hilarious. It's it's funny. Like the dialogue is similar to a little bit. I know you liked a couple of his films. The guy who made that that Sacred Deer movie, and then he did the which other one with
Wait, is it the same guy?
No. I'm just trying to compare the dialogue.
Did you ever see Sacred Deer?
No, I never saw Sacred Deer. Okay. But I saw the other one he did, the with Colin Farrell. Was Sacred Deer?
He has done a couple with Colin Farrell.
Yeah. What was the other one that he did with Colin Farrell? I'm trying to remember. That one I did see.
Yeah, the lobster one.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Lobster.
I saw that.
The dialogue's similar to his movies. Like, it's weird, like, statements.
Mm-hmm.
A little bit. It's not fully like his. Like, they don't commit completely to that type of tone. But, it's definitely an unusual film. But it's great. It was, like I said, it's fun. It is funny. It's a really funny film. Mm-hmm. It's dark. But it sticks to the darkness. It's consistent. It doesn't cop out at the end. So,
right.
Definitely a film I would recommend.
I want to watch it.
Like I said,
it was something that just kind of flew off my radar.
Definitely enjoyed it. So yeah, I just saw it today, and I'm like, hey, you know what? Took out a film from my top. I already had made my list, and I took it out. One of the films I had, because there's something about this one. It was the most unusual film that I saw all year. That's what really made me want to put it in my top 10. So
I will check it out, sir.
All right. So, John, moving on to your number 9. Numero 9.
Okay. And I don't want to hear shit about this because it was released in France in 2018. Okay. And then it was released in America in 2019.
Oh, this is what you were telling me before?
It was a movie with Robert Pattinson called High Life,
Okay.
and I liked it a lot.
Uh-huh.
Like it kind of reminded me of like Kubrick's 2001
Mm-hmm.
Space Odyssey,
Okay.
because it's okay. I don't know. This is like just a dumbed down version of the movie. You got Robert Pattinson. He's like an ex-con or criminal, and it's set in the future. I don't think they ever give you like a date,
Mm-hmm.
but they're on a mission that involves like basically they're gonna they're on a mission to a black hole
Okay.
to explore like a black hole.
So there's a bunch of criminals going to a black hole.
Yeah, but there's like a doctor on board, but also it's like, since they don't give you a year, I like that.
Mm-hmm.
Because in my head, I would be like OCD, like, well, where are they going to get the money for this? And where is this going to, you know what I mean? Like, why
Mhm.
would they do this?
Yeah.
But you don't know. Like, maybe this shit is dirt cheap.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, maybe this is just a shitty mission.
Yeah.
But to them, like, everybody's just going crazy, but you still have, like, it's like the shittiest part of being in space. Like, they volunteered for this.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and they're all, like, ex-criminals. There are some people there, like, they have to have, like, a real doctor and scientist and shit like that.
Yeah.
But even they're, like, doctor, like, I think the doctor, like, killed her family and shit. You know? I'm
Mhm.
saying, like, I'm not ruining shit. Like, even she's, like, not an A-class doctor. She's just a doctor.
Yeah.
And yet she's in charge of like procreation, all this kinds of weird shit. And he is basically, he's on a ship with his daughter the whole time.
Robert Pattinson.
Daughter or son? I think it's daughter. I don't know. It's his only child, a daughter.
Okay.
Daughter, I think,
Uh huh.
because it's a baby. So it's like it's hard to tell until they like get older. Yeah, and he's on this ship the whole time.
Uh-huh.
And then they're going back flashbacks, like how did he get himself in this situation? Because everyone's dead but him and this baby. So you get to see the shittiest parts of being in space, like the parts like just meeting human needs as far as like
Yeah.
going
Shitting.
crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah, a lot of shitting.
Yeah.
No, but it really does. Like it's like, man, this like I wouldn't have volunteered for this shit.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And they're just there to kind of help. They're there to be experimented on, and then there is a mission to go into a black hole.
So High Life. So did you see this on like a streaming service?
Yes.
Okay. It's one of those.
I believe it's Netflix.
Okay.
Yeah, because I had it and you know what helps a lot too, kind of similar to the soundtrack, kind of similar in a way to what was that movie with Amy Adams, Arrival?
Oh yes, Arrow. Yeah.
It helps a lot. Like, don't think of this as an action sci-fi movie. It's not at all.
Well, this movie is directed by a French director as well, just like Arrival was. So the French are weird, man.
Yeah. I think I saw something like this might be his first English movie. I'm not sure.
Yeah. It's her English language debut.
Okay.
Claire Denis with one N. I don't know how you pronounce that.
Yeah, I don't know either.
Yeah.
No, but it is really cool because it's like this is not cool outer space type of sci-fi movie. This is like not like it's slow,
Mm-hmm.
but it's not slow.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's like holy shit, this would be.
It's hard to describe like what makes like all space movies are really good. It's hard to explain why they're good. Like you have to experience it.
Yeah, I mean it's almost like they're in jail in space,
Mm-hmm.
and it's
Like
almost
them having to be there is their jail.
right.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, and I mean this is something they volunteered for, and
Yeah.
it's just like, and that's why I like that they don't specify a year. I don't think, unless I missed that.
Yeah.
Because it's like, well, maybe this is just a shitty mission that they do all the time.
Yeah. Yeah. It's so far off in the future that
Yeah.
it doesn't cost a lot of money.
Yeah. But I liked it. Check it out.
Cool. High Life. John's number 9. All right, John. My number 9 is a film you probably heard of. Actually, we saw it together. It's Us, directed by Jordan Peele. His follow-up to his directorial debut, Get Out. I didn't like Get Out. So
I know you didn't.
yeah, I really didn't like Get Out. So for me to do a complete, I mean, it's a different movie.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of the stuff I didn't like about Get Out, he improved on, in my opinion, with Us. Us wasn't filled with, hey, I'm trying to be clever anymore. Even though there's a lot of symbolism there, I think his movie's gonna be filled with symbolism. That's the type of director he is. But it didn't seem as annoying as Get Out seemed to me. And And you know what? It's a clean film. Like I love the story. It's a really simple story. It's quick. Actually, that's the one thing I remember when we got out of the theater thinking this movie did not feel long. It felt like a quick movie.
This movie is one I had to cut from my top 10,
Mm-hmm.
but not like for any bad reasons at all.
Mm-hmm.
I mean,
Mhm.
obviously, it wouldn't have
Yeah.
been cut if I hadn't liked it.
Mhm.
But now I get what you're saying.
Yeah.
Jordan Peele is doing some cool stuff.
Yeah, it's a really cool movie. I really liked it. It's really cool.
And I know I don't want this. It's hard to say this without sounding racist, but I'm just gonna call it what it is. He's trying to do
Black horror.
Black horror.
Yeah.
But the first one is really about race.
Black.
It's about racism.
Yeah, this one
is
isn't.
just a black cast.
Yeah, which is great. Which is great because this is the thing. Their ethnicity has nothing to do with the story.
No.
Yeah, that's what I love about it. It's just he's a black director. And he's trying to give chance.
And he does have a point
what?
with what he's doing, because dude, black people are not big in horror. Like
they're not.
They get killed.
Yeah.
I know it sounds stupid, but no.
I mean, Hollywood
There's
for years.
I think there's a documentary about it right now.
Mm-hmm.
Just black people's place in horror.
in horror.
Yeah, and how it's just
Yeah.
been like so minimalized.
Yeah, it's
And
one of
I
those things.
can't. I'm like, yeah, it's true.
Yeah, and it's great. He's able to, and they're the whole cast is great. Like even down
Yeah.
to the kids. Like it's a great cast.
Yeah, the chick. What's the main chick?
She is what is her name?
got a-
Lupita Nyong'o.
Yeah, she's got to
I
play
butcher her last
like.
name. She's great in it.
Yeah,
Oh, she's great in it.
she talks kind of slow as her evil self.
Mhm. yeah, yeah.
Like, I
No,
wouldn't want her-
she's great. The husband, Winston Duke, he's great. He's from
Yeah, and
Black Panther.
it's kind of funny for a little bit.
Yeah,
It has funny moments. I like
Yeah,
it.
yeah. The kids are great.
Like, actually, that's the kind of performance like her. Where I'm like, you know what? You should probably get like
An
some
Oscar nomination,
yeah.
but she won't.
No, she
It's hard.
won't. Probably not.
Yeah.
It's horror, like you said,
Yeah.
and then same thing how I felt about what's her name in Hereditary last
Yeah,
year.
she got nominated as well. Yeah.
What was her name? Toni Collette.
Toni Collette. Yeah, and Toni Collette and Lupita Nyong'o, 2 years in a row were hard. Probably had the best actress acting in all year. Like her acting was this is a difficult. She's playing two different characters on two different. Like actually, it's the same character with two different sides to it, right? So she has to play a character, but in from different perspectives, and it's hard. Like for you to do that and switch yourself back and forth, but still be a consistent like person. I'm probably butchering that explanation, but like what she's doing is very difficult. It's not an easy acting job. I mean, I'm not an actor, but I imagine that's hard to do.
I'm not an actor, but I play one on TV.
All right, but no, yeah, it's
Whatever that means.
great. I loved it. My number 9.
Right.
All right, John. Let's move on to your number 8. What is your number 8 film of the year?
Okay.
2019.
Okay.
Number 2018 films, John.
I don't know if you feel like this is too low, but I am putting my number 8
Mm-hmm.
as Booksmart.
Booksmart. Okay. Directed by Olivia Wilde. Her dictatorial I'm butchering that word. Debut. It's her first movie to direct. Great movie.
And I kept hearing people talk about. You told me about it,
Mhm.
and then a couple of people told me about it. I'm like, fine, I'll watch it.
And you liked it.
I did. I actually thought
Yeah.
it was gonna be like a chick flick.
And
Kinda.
it wasn't, right? It isn't a chick flick at all.
No, it's not. It's like it is funny. I understand why that super bad comparison keeps coming in.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know. Maybe you're gonna have this later in your list or not. I don't.
Mm-hmm.
But it's funny.
It's hilarious. Yeah, the whole movie's funny.
Yeah, it is funny. It's just what is it? Basically, just one night before graduation.
Yeah. Your favorite type of movie takes
Yeah.
place in one night.
Yeah. No, I do. I do like those movies.
Yeah.
I don't know what I'll say. It's funny, but both. I don't know. Are they like new? The two chicks.
Beanie
that star?
Feldstein actually is just a famous sibling. Do you know who her brother is?
No.
It's Jonah Hill.
Oh, really?
Yeah. The
Say, is it Seinfeld? Taking random guesses. Makes no sense.
no, Benny Feldstein. Yeah. So actually, that's Jonah Hill's real name. His last name is Feldstein.
I did not know that at all.
Yeah. That's his younger sister.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, yeah. The other
Is
girl.
that called nepotism?
No, she's done other stuff, and in fact, she doesn't share the same name, so you can say it's the opposite of.
I think he might have been producer. I don't know.
Actually, Megan Ellison produced this along with Gary Sanchez Productions. So
I mean, Adam McKay was involved.
Anna McKay and Will Ferrell were involved as executive producers, so they were more hands off. But yeah, it's a great film. I agree. It's probably one of the funniest films of the year.
I think it's streaming on Hulu now.
Is it? Okay.
I think so.
So anybody wants to catch up on it, highly recommended from the both of us. I really liked it as well.
No, it has those like it's the because I think I've complained a lot about there's stuff you can't get away with today.
Mm-hmm.
And again, there's maybe this is sound sexist or
Mhm.
gonna sound sexist, but I think the fact that you have like a main female cast, you can get away with more dirty stuff
Right.
than you can
Maybe.
with all.
Yeah.
It's kind of true.
Mhm.
There's stuff that for movies like I'm watching great movies like Old School
Mm.
or The Hangover, and I'm like, oh, you couldn't do that right now.
Yeah, it's a little like of its decade. Yeah, of its time.
Yeah, I was like, you couldn't say that, you couldn't do that. But I think, I don't know, it is different.
And you know what? What I liked about this movie a lot is that it doesn't try to dumb down. Like it treats the characters as like individuals. They're not stupid teenagers.
Yeah, well, that's why it's called book smart.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, they're nerds.
Well, I mean, they're nerds, but I mean, even like their classmates, like they treat them with some respect. Like they're not just dumb kids. Like a lot of movies, they treat kids as they're idiots. And that's what was great about somebody like John Hughes, his 80s comedies. Like he treated teenagers like they were real people, which they
Yeah.
are, you know.
Yeah, no, it is one of those things where you do forget, like, and I kind of half joke where I'm like, your problems are stupid,
Mm-hmm.
like for kids, and I'm like, oh, to them it's
But to them,
probably-
it's super important. Yeah.
yeah. I was like,
Yeah.
I remember thinking stupid things were important too.
Yeah. It's
Yeah.
true.
But no, it's funny, and I liked it. It has that little, like, it really is like super bad with the female cast. It really is.
Yeah.
I see the comparison a lot.
Yeah, and it was really good.
Because
I
I
agree. with you.
honestly watched the movie a little pessimistic, like with my arms crossed. Like,
Yeah.
okay, let's see what the big deal is here.
I did the same. I mean, I gotta admit, I didn't see it in theaters. I redboxed it, and I did the same thing as you did, and I was pleasantly surprised by it.
Yeah, you get, I don't know. They're just trying to get to a party the whole movie.
Yeah,
That's
that's
I
what
mean,
it is. Yeah, just like super bad. Yeah,
Yeah.
but it's done differently though too. That's what I liked about it. It wasn't.
it is.
It wasn't super bad with two girls. That's what I liked about it. It's a completely different movie. But
Jason Sudeikis is just funny in it.
oh yeah, he's hilarious. yeah, he's hilarious.
Principal slash Uber
Yeah.
driver.
Yeah, it's hilarious. Yeah. So, all right.
What you got?
So my number 8, John, different genre. It's a little movie called Doctor Sleep, directed by Mike Flanagan, the sequel to The Shining. And all I can say about this film is I did not expect to like it as much as I did. And it was very pleasant surprise. Had one of the one of the most disturbing scenes I've seen in a while in the movie. And it had to do with a kid. I don't want to spoil it, but I was legitimately horrified by that scene. Like, and it's very rare that happens, but this movie hit a spot where it shouldn't have worked. It's a sequel to a already classic horror film made by a great director, Kubrick. So it had a hard, for me as a viewer, it had a hard hill to climb, and it knocked it out of the park. It's a great film.
I think I texted you when I got out of it,
Mhm.
and I would same thing.
Yeah.
I said,
Yeah.
holy shit. I go, this is like a real sequel.
Yeah, it's really good.
And
Yeah.
the thing I liked about this movie a lot was that it didn't rely. That's kind of how I felt. Because it didn't rely on The Shining to be a good movie.
No, yeah.
Like, you could have not seen The Shining,
And you can still enjoy this
and
film.
it would still probably be good.
Yeah.
But you do enjoy it more, and you appreciate it more after seeing The Shining, which
Mhm.
is one of the best horror movies ever.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah.
The Shining.
By far.
It's probably might be a top 5 horror movie of all time.
Mm-hmm.
And to go decades later, what was that movie made in the 80s something?
In 1980. Yeah, it was released in 1980.
Jesus. Okay. Yeah, and I'm like, dude, this is a real sequel.
Yeah.
Like, we're going, like, back. It's the kid grown up.
Yeah, kids are grown up.
And
yeah.
Ewan McGregor, underrated.
Yeah, great actor.
Yeah. The chick who plays the main bad.
Oh, she's good. Yeah, she's really good.
She is good.
Yeah, she's really good.
Yeah, I like her. She's hot, too. I forget her name.
Yeah.
But, yeah, no, it's a legit sequel. Like, we end up back. I'm not going to. Well, you can see it in the trailer.
Mm-hmm.
There's a trip back to the Overlook Hotel.
Yeah, which is a great ending scene.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm just saying, holy shit, we're going back to the hotel.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah, and it was, I'm going to call it one of the most ambitious films of the year. Because I would not want to have taken on that job.
No, and Mike Flanagan, to his credit, I mean, he's known as a horror director, and if you were to look his resume before, like he's a good director. Like I've liked some of his films. Some of his films are like, judging from his resume though, I mean, as much as I did like some of his films, I would have never thought he could have pulled a horror film like this.
No, I would not. I mean,
he's made okay horror films, but this one is his best film to date.
Yeah, you took
by a mile.
You took basically, other than Jack Nicholson, the second most iconic character from the original movie, and he is the star of the movie now.
And it doesn't feel like it's a letdown. Like
because you know who tried. This is what I mean when I say like they don't rely on the old movie, but it's nostalgia kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
Is like we kind of are in the middle on the Halloween remake.
Mm-hmm.
The one they made, 2-3 years ago?
Yeah.
The one Danny McBride wrote for some weird reason?
Yeah, last year, yeah.
Yeah, was it last year?
Yeah,
okay.
it was last year.
Is that relied on nostalgia, I think?
Yeah.
A lot of it.
Yeah, a lot of it, yeah.
In fact, a lot of the scenes that I did enjoy in that movie, and I was disappointed with it.
Talking about Halloween.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was because I saw the first one, and it was bringing me back.
Yeah.
And this one, it's just those.
It's completely different.
Those moments make it better.
Yeah, but
they don't. You don't need them.
You don't need them at all. It works as a film by itself.
Right.
And it's great. Like I mean, it's crazy because it didn't make a lot of money in the box office. I think people had the same thoughts as I did. It's like, is it gonna be good? It's a sequel to a legendary film. I think a lot of people just passed on it because,
yeah, I know. It's funny. I knew somebody who liked it a lot, and they're like, "Well, I saw The Shining right before I went to go see it." I'm like, "You've never seen The Shining?"
That's crazy. I think you told me about that. Yeah, that's crazy. But I mean, it's understandable. I mean, if it's a 40-year-old movie.
It's long too.
Yeah.
What
The
is
Shining's
it?
long. Yeah, 2.5 hours. Yeah.
This is long too.
Oh, this one's long too. Yeah. Wait, is The Shining 2.5 hours? I'm trying to think. Oh, this one is long. Yeah. This one's 2.5 hours, I think.
I saw this in the movie theater by myself because I'm cool that way.
Mm-hmm.
And there was one other person in the theater. Like that made it less creepy. A few rows behind me.
Yeah.
And yeah, I liked it. Like it was. That's when I got out and I go, "This is the most ambitious thing I've seen in a long time."
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it is.
I would not want this job. I would not want to try to take this on. It's the guy that made the Hill House show, right?
Yeah, yeah.
The Haunting of Hill House.
The Haunting of Hill House, yeah.
It was good.
Yeah, that was a good show. He did Gerald's Game for Netflix as well. So he's done other Stephen King properties. So
okay, Gerald's Game is good.
Gerald's Game is good, yeah. So he's used to doing that. It's a hard director, but I did not.
It's the same chick. Forgot Gerald's Game and Hill House.
Yeah.
Yeah, I forgot.
Yeah. So, yeah, great movie. So that's my number 8. All right, John, your number 7, lucky number 7. What is your 7th best film of 2019 for you?
My number 7 is Knives Out.
Knives Out, directed by Rian Johnson.
Correct.
The director of one of the recent Star Wars films.
Yeah, and I haven't been a fan of the last few.
Mm-hmm.
I have not seen the new one, and that's another reason I highly doubt it would have been in my top 10. I'm not going to prejudge, but just based on what I've heard and what I've seen for the last 2.
Sure.
It takes a lot for something like that or like a superhero movie to like make my top 10.
Mm-hmm.
I think the last one to do it was like Logan, maybe.
Mm-hmm.
And either way, dude, it's a murder. It's a whodunit. It's Clue. It's murder mystery, and all the actors are so good.
Yeah,
it's like
it's a great cast. It's a great cast.
It might be the best cast of the year.
I mean, let's just name them. You have Daniel Craig, Chris Evans, Jamie Lee Curtis, Michael Shannon, Don Johnson, Toni Collette. We got even Christopher Plummer. Even some of the lesser. You got Lakeith Stanfield, the guy from Sorry to Bother You, up and coming star. I mean, it's a crazy good cast.
Yeah, and we're not giving anything away. Christopher Plummer dies.
Yeah. I mean, that's the whole thing that's
in the trailer, and they're trying to figure out. It's all mostly just family.
Well, you know what I love about it? It's they revealed to you who did it. Maybe 30 minutes into the film.
I don't know if it's that early, but it's early.
It's super early, but it still works because that's not the real mystery.
And it's fun. Some of the acting is over the top, but it works.
It works, yeah. It's supposed to be, yeah.
It is like you get it. It's almost like this is like
Daniel Craig has this craziest Southern accent I've ever heard. I mean, it doesn't feel out of place. It doesn't feel out of place at all.
Remember their first interview in the family? He keeps pushing the piano keys and like.
Oh, that opening scene is hilarious. Like introducing the characters that way is just genius, right? You get to see everybody's personality.
Oh yeah, and then you can see like basically this family is quite dysfunctional.
They're terrible people. Yeah. He's setting the stage for them being. They're just terrible people.
Yeah, and these are like it's a stacked cast.
Yeah,
it's like these are all like Oscar nominees and stars.
I mean, and just the story, like the juggling of this story, like having to juggle. It's an intricate plot, but like most murder mysteries, but even this one even more so, having to like keep those pieces together. It's so well made, and you never feel lost. You're never asking, wait, what happened here? Why is this happening? Like usually, I mean, it'll be understandable if that happened, and at least to me, it never happened in this film. You never were confused on. Wait a minute, what's happening now? It's
funny too.
And it is hilarious.
It's funny, yeah. But it's supposed to be over the top.
Toni Collette has one of the funniest lines all year when she's talking to Daniel Craig. She first gets introduced, like, I heard about you. I read a tweet about a New York article about you. Like, probably one of the funniest lines of the year. Like, just her clueless.
Who was they have that son that barely talks. Is it Toni Collette's son?
It's Michael Shannon's son.
Oh,
the Nazi.
He's like a Nazi kid.
Yeah, it's a Nazi kid.
Yeah, and then they have the Mexican house.
She's
the nurse. She's the nurse.
She's the nurse. She's from Paraguay, Uruguay, Brazil. Like I don't think they ever get it right.
Yeah, they keep saying like whatever country she's from. Yeah. Marta. Yeah.
Yeah.
What does he call? He's like yells and he's just like. Because he's quiet the whole movie. He's like, anchor, baby. And I'm just like, I don't know. It made me laugh.
Yeah, just the fact that, she throws up and she tries to lie. I mean, that's such a little character.
He wrote and directed this.
Yeah, he wrote and directed it.
This is a hard movie to write in general.
Well, this is the thing. Like, like I mentioned, he directed The Last Jedi, which, it's hard when you direct a franchise film. Right? It's hard to put your own touch on it, but this guy's a great director. I mean, he's directed Looper. He wrote and directed Looper. He wrote and directed Brothers Bloom. He wrote and directed Brick.
I didn't see Brick.
He actually directed a episode of Breaking Bad.
Okay.
Actually, a couple of them, and some of the best ones in the series. So I mean, this guy knows his stuff, and he's a very talented director.
Looper was good.
Right? Yeah, Looper was great. So I mean, this is probably, in my opinion, his best film he's ever done.
And these. Like, whodunits are hard to write.
They're really hard. To keep them straight, they're hard to do.
Yeah. Yeah. And I do like what you said. We already know who did it early.
You get it out of the way.
Yeah, and then like
so now you're like
introducing these characters one by one, and we already know. So
now you're guessing what is the next mystery. That's what's great about revealing the character, who did it right away. Now you're trying to see what is the mystery. Then there's more to the story than we thought.
Right.
Yeah,
right.
So that's
there's a mystery inside the mystery.
Exactly. No, I completely agree. Great film. One of the best films of the year for me as well. All right, so that's John's number 7. So my number 7, John, is one that you mentioned earlier, and that is Booksmart by Olivia Wilde. since we already talked about it, I won't get too much into it. But I will add that, like I mentioned as we're winding down our conversation about Booksmart earlier, it is like super bad for this generation. But it isn't a retread, and that's initially that's what I sort of thought it was gonna be. Like, oh, this is just super bad with two girls. But what Olivia Wilde was able to, because she wrote and directed it, what she was able to do was very impressive, very impressive. Very, like we mentioned with Knives Out a few seconds ago. This is a really well written movie.
Right.
And I did not expect. Oh, she's an actress. I mean, I don't know her ability to write, but she really impressed me with her writing. This was a really well written script.
It's because she's a woman, Matt.
Yes,
Jesus.
But that's pretty much it. I mean, we already talked about it.
Yeah, we got into it. It's enough to make my top 10 too.
Yeah, it's my number 7. So John, you're number 6.
I think we can move pretty quick on my number 6 here.
Something I already mentioned then?
Yeah, that's fine. Is because my number 6 is Doctor Sleep.
Ah, okay. So we have two movies that we both felt a little bit more enthusiastic about. Okay.
Yeah, not much to say. Very ambitious, trying to make a sequel to one of the best horror movies ever made.
Mm-hmm.
And I think everyone should watch it. If you like horror, if you like Stephen King, this is one of the better Stephen King movies made in a while.
Yeah. Yeah.
I did like it though, It Chapter 1.
Mm.
Maybe one of us will talk about Chapter 2. I don't know, but there's not much else to say. We're good.
Okay. So my number 6, John, and this one might be a little, I don't want to say controversial, but I think it split a lot of people. This was a big deal movie of the year, and I think some people liked it a lot, and some people didn't like it so much. But my number 6, John, is The Irishman, directed by Martin Scorsese, starring. I don't know. Did you hear about this movie? I don't know if you heard about this.
I hear about it. I've heard a little bit about it.
Yeah, starring Robert De Niro. It's not a huge cast. Robert De Niro, Al Pacino, Joe Pesci, Harvey Keitel, Ray Romano. Ray Romano's probably the biggest star in the movie.
Ray Romano. He might be the richest.
Yeah, he probably is weird. Great film, in my opinion. But I can see this movie can be seen as a task. It is 209 minutes long. That's, for people who can't do math, that's as close to 3.5 hours.
It's coming from the guy that thinks 48 out of 52 weeks is most of the weeks. I agree.
That is a 3.5. It's a huge commitment, right? Asking somebody to go to theaters for 3.5 hours. I mean, that's
no.
that's only something like Martin Scorsese can get away with that.
Yeah, and it is interesting that he sold it to Netflix, right?
Yeah.
Or Netflix picked it up. I don't know how that works.
No, essentially, Netflix financed it. Yeah.
Yeah. And
or
I saw
it,
that. Yeah, and you know what helped with this movie a lot is, I think, seeing it in the theaters helped.
It helped a lot. Yes, I agree. Because me and you went and saw it in theaters, even though it came out on Netflix a few weeks later.
And it did bring me back to feeling like, oh shit, this is Scorsese doing Scorsese stuff.
Yeah, although it is different. This definitely isn't Goodfellas.
It's not Goodfellas.
Yeah, this is different.
It's not. It's not even Casino.
No,
this
is, you know what? This is Scorsese almost doing how he would have done Godfather. Have you ever heard the story when Francis Ford Coppola was trying to get Godfather 2 made? Do you know who I already gave it away. The first the guy he didn't want to direct it. Francis Ford Coppola he wanted to write it, but he wanted somebody else to direct it. The guy who he wanted to direct it was Martin Scorsese, and the studio said no, that you have to direct it. So I can imagine how Martin Scorsese's Godfather would have looked like. And I can't say they wouldn't look that much different than this. Like, it's, Goodfellas and Casino, these mobsters, they're different type of mobsters than the mobsters in Godfather. Godfather were more refined guys. They're like, they're not in a hurry. They don't deal in drugs. Remember that scene in Godfather? He's like, we don't do drugs. We don't deal with that.
Right.
It's like Goodfellas is way different. Scorsese's monsters those guys are doing lines of coke. When they wake up.
Paulie didn't want anything to do with the drugs.
Just Paulie, but everybody else was like had no qualms about doing stuff with drugs, right? So like Scorsese's monsters were more rock and roll, right? So this one was a little bit of different because it is more Godfather-ish, like the tone, a little bit more. There's more reverence behind it, they're different characters. It's a different story he's trying to tell. So I think maybe that was where the disappointment came from a lot of people. They were expecting Goodfellas again,
right?
And Scorsese did this Goodfellas.
This is Pacino's first movie with Scorsese.
Yeah, it's his first.
It's crazy, right?
Mm-hmm.
You think he would have used him by now?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And not to mention that I don't think we've ever seen a movie do this much CGI.
It's a lot of CGI.
It's mostly CGI.
It's $160 million worth of CGI. That's how much the film cost to me.
Yeah, and it looks legit.
Mm-hmm.
And I think they got it down to. I saw. There's like a thing on Netflix. Have you seen it? It's like 20 minutes long where they're talking about the movie.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and I think they didn't have to do like those big yellow tennis balls anymore.
Yeah, it's like little dots. Yeah.
Yeah, like the pieces of tape and dots and stuff. So
yeah.
I don't think De Niro and Pacino want tennis balls on their face. I feel like like they've earned the tape, the little tape.
Yeah. No,
at first I thought it was gonna bother me, and it doesn't.
No, you sort of get over like this is the way I saw it. It doesn't look like De Niro though, because we've seen De Niro at 30 years old. This doesn't look like De Niro at 30 years old, but this is De Niro playing a character at 30 years old, so it's different. So if you're able to put yourself in that mindset, it's like, yeah, he's playing this character at a different age. It isn't De Niro at 30 years old. This is his character at 30 years old. He's going to look different. Like, if you're able to get into that mindset, it's not as bothersome.
Right.
It's always doesn't look like De Niro when he was like 30 years old.
Because it's... and I don't remember. I think it's the scene where... And it's in the Netflix thing. It's like a 20-minute separate piece that I watched. Uh-huh. And it's the scene where Pacino is sitting there with like his son and his family and stuff, and he's yelling at the TV.
Yeah,
I think about the Kennedys.
Yeah, I remember that. Yeah,
and I think like they said like somebody has to tell him like I don't know if he's supposed to be like 39 or
he's
something. He's
supposed to be able to get out of the seat.
Yeah, he's like old and like slow or something.
Yeah.
I don't know. He's supposed to be 39 or even if he's supposed to be 49, she shouldn't be moving that slow.
Yeah,
like, And I think they're like, somebody needs to tell him.
There's certain things he can't get. Like I think there's some scenes where Pesci's character looked a little small. He's a small. He's a small guy to begin with, but him as a 80-something-year-old man, his body's smaller, so. You're trying to make him a youthful young man. It's harder. There's some things you can't CGI, and you can't CGI movement. It's hard. It's like, hey, this is the movement of a 40-year-old. This is the movement of an 80-year-old. It's hard.
Right.
So,
and there is, I think I was going to tell you before. Somebody told me that it's funny to watch. Do you remember? There's a scene where De Niro goes and he's trying to protect his daughter.
Yeah.
He goes and he kicks a little bit of ass, kind of bring you back to
that was a funny. Yeah, that was a funny little.
But what is funny is that if you do look, I think he could use a little more energy.
yeah. It was a little bit. Those kicks didn't have the same oomph as his Goodfellas scenes.
Yeah, and that's what I was going to mention earlier. Now I saw it, I'm like, huh.
Yeah.
That man is awfully strong for moving very slow. Yeah. But I mean, when you get past all that, and for people who think it's a long movie, it is a long movie. But like, I've caught myself since then actually replaying it, kind of like having it in the background.
Have you seen the some people have what they've done is they cut it into how if it was a Netflix miniseries, and it's actually pretty interesting. Like look it up and you Google it, you can probably find it. People have cut, and it's actually pretty well done. Like, hey, you stop watching this will be episode 1. So they've done it into like a 3 or 4 episode part miniseries on Netflix. And if you cut it up into this piece of it, it's a more enjoyable experience. If you don't want to sit down for 3.5 hours at one point, So
that's interesting.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. So, but yeah, that's my number 6. I think this movie is gonna get better with repeat viewings. I think 'cause it's such a long movie.
As soon as I saw the first and it's in the trailer. Doesn't matter. As soon as I saw the first the gunshot splatter of blood on the wall, I'm
Mhm.
like, all right, Scorsese movie. Let's go.
Yeah, yeah.
And there is a lot of car explosions. We have that stuff in there, but there is a lot of movie in this movie. There's a
Yeah.
lot of
Yeah.
movie in this movie.
Yeah.
Like we're going through decades.
Yeah. It has to be long. I mean,
Yeah.
how's he going to get around it?
Yeah.
And you're telling a lot, and everything is necessary. It isn't anything. It's not like he's trying to pad stuff just to pad stuff. It's not like he's getting paid by the minute. It's necessary to the story. It's a story that spans decades.
Yeah, and I think I did the same clip. Maybe he talks about, or they ask him like, "Did you about making it that long?" He said it was going to be that long no matter what.
Yeah, yeah.
And the decision to do Netflix was just a decision. It was not, like
They were the ones who were willing to give him that much money.
yeah. He's like, I'm going to release this somewhere.
Mm-hmm.
You know.
Yeah, Netflix was the one willing to do it.
Yeah, it is a movie that I really, I did enjoy. I probably have seen it, not entirely. I saw it entirely at the movies.
And you've seen it a couple of times at that, like parts.
I've played the whole movie at least 2 more times since then.
Yeah, it's a fun movie to like have on in the background.
Yeah, and there's scenes where you're like, oh, and like you can get any random like 10, 15 minutes of the movie. It's never slow.
No, yeah,
It doesn't feel as long as it is.
no.
It really doesn't.
No, I still think it's just people put off by the fact it isn't Goodfellas. But
Yeah, it's not. I
if people
mean,
get over that, you'll enjoy it a lot better.
and I could say this is like, I don't know. This might be like a top something Scorsese movie. Like,
Yeah, easily he's top 10. He's done worse films than this.
Oh yeah.
It's like as great as a director as Scorsese is, he's made some stinkers. This isn't a stinker. It's far from.
the last one I felt like was a real Scorsese movie was probably The Wolf of Wall Street,
Yeah, yeah.
and now this.
But yeah, but and this is even like Wolf of Wall Street is closer to Goodfellas, and this is like Goodfellas. You know?
Right. Yeah.
But that story called for that type of, directing. This,
Right.
Or filmmaking. This story doesn't call for that. So, but that's my number 6, John. All right, so we're coming down to our top 5, John. This is the best of the best. These are our top 5 films. So, what is your number 5?
My number 5 is a movie called Parasite that I got to see.
Parasite. That's one of the few films I didn't get to see this year.
Yeah, and it is not in English, so I had to read.
Mm-hmm.
But what is it? Is it in Korean, I think?
I think it's a Korean film, yes.
Yeah, and this guy's made English movies, though, right?
Boon Joon-woo. Yeah.
Yeah. He's the one that made the one with the train, right? That goes around. What's that one? Snowpiercer?
Snowpiercer, yeah.
Yeah, I didn't know what to expect. Somebody, a friend of mine or somebody we know, texted me and said it was really, really good. Somebody else told me it was really good.
Mm-hmm.
And I was
It's
like,
really good.
okay, let me catch this thing at the movies while I can. And I did. And it takes such a weird turn
Mm-hmm.
to where I'm like, holy shit. Like
it's like a black comedy, right?
it is a comedy.
Yeah.
Until it is a comedy, but it's dark.
Yeah.
It's super dark.
That's what I've heard, yeah.
Like, it takes such a drastic turn in the last, I don't know, 20 minutes.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe 20, 30 minutes. I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't, like, you can tell, like, this is a story that was like, where did you even come up with this story?
Right.
It's one of those movies where
Yeah.
I think, it doesn't have to be seen in theaters. It's just, it's about the story.
This is the way I've heard it described. I've tried not to read too much about it, but I've heard it described as a sitcom.
Maybe, I guess.
Yeah.
Trying to think what that would entail. It is kind of, because it is funny in a weird kind of way, and then I mean, okay, just to,
It's a satire, right? I mean, that's people describe it that way.
yeah, and
Yeah.
but it is like, okay, it's a family. They're really just like low class as far as just poverty.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, this isn't giving anything away. They scam a rich family. Not so much scam. Kind of, yeah, they do.
So
Kinda.
the parasite of the title.
Right.
Yeah.
slowly, one by one, they get jobs working for this very wealthy family. And the whole time they're working together, they have no idea. The family has no idea they're all related. That
Oh,
the
okay.
mom, the dad, the son, the daughter, they all have a job. One's like a math tutor, one's an art teacher, one's a maid, one's a driver.
Hmm.
And they each get these positions. And
Okay.
he said, I don't want to give too much away. But yeah, that's it. It takes a very dark turn
Right.
to where it goes from like haha comedy to holy shit, how did we get here?
Yeah. Yeah.
And that's what I liked about it. I'm like, this is like somebody who really like knows how to write a story.
Yeah.
Or, like they actually know like, yeah, like this is like a real story. And yeah, that's pretty much, it's hard to say much more other than watch it.
I will definitely watch it over the next few weeks. I think it's due to be on some streaming sites in like 2-3 weeks.
That's cool.
So I didn't get a chance to see it in theaters. So I'll definitely check it out. Okay, my number 5, John, is a little film. Actually, this is one of the films that came out earlier in the year. We're talking about like some usually you a lot of these top 10 films, people they'll tend to release it towards the end of the year. These prestige films, but this one came out earlier in the year. This one probably isn't on that many people's top 10, but I don't care because this is probably the most enjoyable time I had in the theaters all year.
I bet you I know what it is.
And that movie is John Wick Chapter 3, Parabellum.
Ah, okay.
Directed by Chad Stahelski. And it's the third movie in this marvelous franchise starring Keanu Reeves. And to me, this franchise is starting to become much like the Mission Impossible franchise, where every subsequent film is better than the previous one.
They're definitely pushing the envelope.
And this, this movie is non-stop from start to finish.
Right.
It picks up right an hour after the last movie ended, and it doesn't stop. It's relentless, and it is highly enjoyable. It's very well made, and they up the envelope in every scene.
Kills a guy with a book.
Yes. Well, the first scene is he takes on a basketball player. Actually, he's I forget which team he's on currently. Boban Marjanovic.
Sounds close enough.
Yeah, he's been on several NBA teams. He's a mountain of a man. Is putting it lightly, and he fights John Wick in this movie.
Got a cool fight scene in the library.
Very cool fight scene. Yes. So it's hard to describe it because you got to see it. It's an action movie.
I mean, anybody who's seen the first one and the second one, or just whatever, just know it's the same thing over and over, but in a good way.
Yes.
In fact, they're just saying, like, how crazy can we get this shit down?
Yes.
And that's kind of what they've been doing with Mission Impossible.
Yes.
Is it the last?
It doesn't feel old though. It doesn't feel like they're doing the same shit again.
Neither is Mission Impossible.
Yeah, exactly.
Like
That's what's crazy about
Fallout last year was the best action movie.
I had it in my top 5. I loved it.
Yeah. And this one, I have it as an honorable mention. I really did want to put it in there.
Mm-hmm.
It just there was a lot of good movies, and I didn't even see as much as I wanted to see.
Mm.
But no, I loved it. In fact, it probably, it might be the best action movie of the year.
It's
It's
yeah.
But yeah, no, it is like you're right. They're just pushing the envelope.
Yeah,
that's all we're trying to do. Is
no,
just
I love it. I had the most. This is it was a thrilling movie, and it's one of those like you had to watch in the movies.
It's literally him like versus the world.
Yeah.
Like there's a hit out on him for like
again, and it's like
it's like I don't know, what does the guy say? He goes, John Wick is like it's versus basically the world. Like I say the odds are about even.
And they're building that universe even more and more. That's what I love about it. Like the universe is so well,
because the first one feels like it might be the real world.
Yeah, and then the second one's like, you know what? Fuck that. Let's build our own universe.
Yeah, it's like Then we go to Hitman Hotel.
Yeah. Yeah. So no, I can't wait for chapter 4. Like it's
Yeah.
yeah. I mean,
Guy's
this
killing it right now.
yeah. Yeah.
Is that true? Are they releasing The Matrix and John Wick in the same weekend? Or is that just something
The next one?
Yeah.
I don't
Or is
know.
that something somebody told me?
That'd be a crazy weekend for him to release because he is doing a new Matrix, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know.
I don't know if that's
That'd be crazy.
I don't know if that's true or not.
That'd be
We'll
crazy.
check it out later.
This guy, I mean, it's crazy how good in shape this guy. He's 50,
Yeah.
and he's still in shape.
Yeah. Do you ever seen those behind the scenes, the
Yeah.
gun training stuff he does?
It's crazy. And this guy's dedicated.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like what I lack in acting skills, I will make up for
Right.
in action.
All right, John. So we're entering the creme of the creme. What? Now we're going to your number 4. What is your number 4 film?
My number 4 is Joker.
Joker. You know what? This movie, I had to cut at the last second.
You cut it from your 10?
I cut it on my 10. But go ahead. You talk about it, and I'll give you my thoughts.
This is, and this is, if you want to go back to the Dark Knight, right? That was Heath Ledger.
Mm-hmm.
And I think you said it, and I kind of get what you mean. You're like, oh, this is like the new, what did you call it, Macbeth or something? Or what? Not Macbeth. Like, you said playing this character.
Oh yeah, it's like the new Macbeth. Yeah, it used to be that or I'm sorry, Hamlet. Like it used to be actors when they wanted to do a role. It's like, hey, go do Hamlet, and you'll be able to demonstrate if you're a good actor.
I can hold a skull.
Yeah, and this is the new Hamlet. Like this is, hey, if you're a good actor, go try to do the Joker, because there's so many interpretations that you can do with it. Much like Hamlet, you could do so many different interpretations of that character. So this has become it. Like it's when you put a great actor in this role, man, it's crazy what they come up with.
And it's him. Who's the guy that directed it?
Todd Phillips.
Yeah, Todd Phillips,
Yeah.
who's done mostly comedies, hangover movies.
Although you know what, there's a tinge of darkness in all his comedies.
Yeah,
like,
there is.
Like even Old School is there's some dark scenes in Old
I
School.
think the most serious movie I remember is probably War Dogs.
War Dogs.
He did that one, right?
Yeah, he did that one.
But even that wasn't that serious.
Nah, it was still comedic.
And Jonah Hill.
There's nothing funny about this movie.
Not at all. In fact, it is like, it's dark.
Yeah.
There's some scenes that made me uncomfortable and cringe a little bit.
Yeah.
Where I was just like, holy shit.
Yeah.
Like when I don't know. Like I don't know what I can say without giving shit away, other than best performance of the year.
It is. He has to win the Oscar.
Yeah,
if he doesn't win the Oscar, it's gonna be.
It makes no sense.
Makes no sense if he doesn't win the Oscar.
Yeah, it makes no sense at all. Like I walked out of there, and just give it to him. Just give it to him now.
Yeah.
And
it's a shame because there's actually other really great performances this year, and they're fucked. Like any other year, they probably could have won the best actor. This year they're not.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of
interesting just to see who gets nominated.
Yeah.
But yeah, just give it to him now. I would be shocked.
Yeah. For me, this was in my top 10 for a while. The only thing is, I still think it's maybe about 10 minutes to 15 minutes too long. But the thing
unlike The Irishman.
Unlike The Irishman. But it's a different story. So I think it's really Joaquin Phoenix's performance that really makes this movie great.
It is.
He carries the movie. He literally carries this movie.
Oh yeah. In fact, it's hard to say Todd Phillips is the mastermind behind this movie. Like he did a good job.
He did a good job. Yeah, he's a good director. He's a really great director.
Yeah, but this is Joaquin Phoenix's movie.
If he didn't have Joaquin Phoenix's performance, this movie wouldn't work.
Absolutely not.
No,
it is, and there's some disturbing shit in this movie. Yeah. Like there really is, where it's like this is the Joker, and you kind of felt like that with Chris Nolan's Batman. It's like, oh, this is Batman and the Joker in the real world. No, this is the real world.
Yeah.
To me. Yeah. And I'm like, like this is
how much more real can you like? It's crazy to think.
Yeah, like
anybody's gonna get any realer than this, and they might. I don't know. I mean, you get the right actor again.
Right, and it really is about a guy that's just mentally ill.
Yeah.
I mean, at the end of the day. Yeah,
He's a mentally ill guy.
and I can't say that a lot of people are like, oh, Heath Ledger was better. I go, well, it's different.
It's a different performance. Yeah.
I said this is
doesn't make it better or worse.
This is a mentally ill man
A different interpretation, right?
who is a different person at the end of the movie than he is at the beginning. We're watching it's an origin story.
It's an origin story, yeah.
Yeah. And I remember earlier I said, like, I don't really, it's hard for a superhero movie or DC, Marvel,
Yeah, to
even
make it
Star Wars to make my top 10. Is
Yeah.
this one I was just like,
You know what? This one isn't a Marvel or isn't in the traditional sense.
yeah, it is DC. It's the DC character, though.
But it isn't like a.
Yeah,
This isn't a
and-
comic book movie.
But it's the same way. I think the last one that
Like
made
Logan.
mine was Logan.
Yeah.
And that was different.
Yeah. And it doesn't make it, and not just because they're darker, it makes them better. It's just there's just better films.
Yeah, there's just it's
The
a
R-
real
the R rating
story,
doesn't
and
make it better.
it's like you kind of feel bad for this psychopath. It's
Yeah.
like it puts you in a weird position
Yeah, it does. Yeah. Yeah.
where you're like, he's just really not all there.
He doesn't get the help that he needs, and
Yeah, they even it's like a real thing. It's like, the city cut funding and he can't get his medication. I'm like,
yeah.
well, that sucks.
Yeah.
And there's a scene there, I don't want to ruin it, that just establishes a lot of darkness when he's in the children's hospital, I think, right? He's
Yeah.
dancing and I'm just like,
Drops a gun.
yeah.
Yeah.
Drops a gun. It's like, uh-oh. Saw that and I was just kind of cringed a little. I'm like, I don't know how you're going to explain that.
Yeah. Crazy old Arthur. Just what this.
Yeah,
guy-
it is a movie I want to watch again.
Yeah,
I saw it.
I saw this movie twice. I mean, I liked it a lot. It's one of those, like, there was something there that I was like, I had to rewatch this, and I still think it's a little too long. It's weird because it's one of those, like, it could have been perfect to me. So maybe I'm a little bit harder on it because because the performance is that great. Yeah, it's really
It's his movie.
This is movie.
And I know they're talking about making another one. I don't want them to.
Yeah,
Really don't. I know it's all about money, but
Yeah.
I don't want to ruin what this was.
yeah,
It was special. It was different.
yeah. All right, so John's number 4. All right, John. So I mentioned to you before we started this podcast that I cheated a little bit on my list. So my top 4, I could not decide. My top 4, all of these could have been my number
I'm
1.
taking some nasal spray while Matt's talking.
My top 4, each of these films could have been my number 1. Like, I went back and forth. I put each of these as my number 1 at some point. And so I decided, you know what? Instead of trying to do 1, 2, 3, 4, I'm just gonna put these in alphabetical order because each of these were my number 1 film. Like these films I foresee rewatching these for years to come. That's how much I love these top 4 films. So the first one I'm gonna deal with, and we'll do it in order, just that way we go back and forth. So on number 4, just in alphabetical order, I put Uncut Gems.
Okay.
This one I just recently saw. It's the newest film by Josh and Benny Safdie. These are 2 New York-based directors who are doing great work. Love their last film, Hard Time, and
Good time.
or Good Time. Sorry, yeah, Good Time. And this one is they did love their own style. They're such interesting directors.
Bringing you to the edge of anxiety.
And yeah, I don't think I relaxed 1 second during this whole film. Like they really put you in the seat of this character played by Adam Sandler. Like, this guy is a degenerate gambler, and he
He's a degenerate everything.
he lives his life on the edge, and you feel it the whole movie. Especially that last 15 minutes, I was just like this. Like, I had my hand in my chin. And I'm like, God damn, this guy is like, there's no helping this guy. It's funny, dark, anxiety inducing. like it's crazy what this film does to you as a viewer, and it's definitely something I can't wait to re-see again. Probably re-see it again this week. It's that good.
Yeah, they did the same thing to me. They did Good Time. I loved.
Oh, Good Time was great. Yeah.
I loved it. If people haven't seen Good Time, watch Good Time.
Oh yeah, definitely watch
It's
it
with
Robert Pattinson.
yeah, it's before he went to space.
Before he went to space, he was a wannabe bank robber.
Hey, that's how he got in the program.
Yeah, his same character. Right? Nah,
Yeah.
have you seen Good Time? He
Yeah, I think. So.
Oh yeah, I guess yeah. In a way, but yeah, it's
Oh yeah.
these guys have definitely developed their own style.
This is like, and I don't think I'm ruining anything by saying. Think it in both Good Time. There's similarity in
Yeah.
Good Time and Uncut Gems.
Yeah.
Is that we're looking at one character,
Mm-hmm.
and you're like, things are not gonna end well for this fella. You're like,
But you still have a little bit of hope, right?
but you want that. You want them.
But
to.
you know, it's not.
You want them to, but they can't.
They can't. Yeah.
Like, there's no way.
And these guys, they bring
Because
it,
you see that they're self-destructive.
exactly, and they bring it to the logical conclusion, but you don't want them to, and that's what's scary about it. I think that's where the anxiety comes in. Like these guys, they're gonna bring it to the logical conclusion. This is gonna end the way it should end, and you're like, but you're still rooting, even though you know it's gonna end the way it's gonna end. You're still rooting for it.
Right, and that goes back to Adam Sandler.
Adam Sandler's great. This is his best performance,
Right.
and like any other year he would have won the Oscar, but he's fucked because he has to go up against Joaquin Phoenix.
I don't know if he would have won, but he
He would have been a front runner easily.
okay.
This is a great.
He might still get
performance.
nominated.
He'll get nominated. Yeah.
Yeah, he might still get
This
nominated.
this is his best performance.
Yeah, and he's a piece of shit in the movie.
Yeah. Yeah.
And it kind of reminded, like, for a second, I was like, it's kind of like Edward Norton in what is it, in Rounders?
Mm-hmm.
Except, no, he's worse.
He's worse.
But you were never rooting for Edward Norton.
No, you're not. Yeah, his secondary character. Yeah.
You're rooting for Adam Sandler.
Yeah.
Or at least I was.
And he has a perfect name. I love his name, Howard Ratner. He has a rat in his name too, Howard Ratner.
Yeah.
That's such a great name. Such a great movie character name.
Yeah.
It's like a classic movie character name, Howard Ratner.
It's like,
Perfect.
it's like, yeah, they could have called him Brett Ratner.
Right.
What's
Not-
he up to these days?
Not much.
So
For people who maybe haven't heard it just came out recently. He's Adam Sandler plays Howard Ratner, who runs a jewelry store in New York's Diamond District, and he comes across a gem, an uncut gem, you may say, an opal, he thinks is worth millions of dollars. And one day he has Kevin Garnett, the
and you
best
know
player.
what? Kevin Garnett's pretty good at it.
Kevin Garnett's really good at it. Yeah,
he's pretty good at
he's pretty good
playing
himself.
Kevin
which
Garnett.
which is harder said than done. Like it's not as easily done as people think, right? Like, oh, you're just playing yourself. It's like, well, you're also sort of trying to play a character.
I mean, I play myself on this podcast.
Yeah, but like, imagine if somebody wrote a script about you as a person, and now you have to play yourself as a character. Like John is a character in a movie. That's hard to do.
Right.
Yeah.
What is it? 2012, right?
It's 2012. It's set during the 2012 Eastern Conference playoffs.
They didn't win that year, right?
No, the Heat went on to go to the finals and win. It was LeBron's first championship.
Okay. Yeah. No, I mean, I did it. These guys are, at least I'm just comparing these two movies. I don't know how much shit they've done.
Mm-hmm.
The Safdie brothers.
Yeah, they haven't done a lot.
Okay. I'm just.
They're so
looking-
young. They're in their 30s.
I'm looking at these two movies, and I remember I think I told you to watch Good Time too because I loved it,
Mm-hmm.
and I was like, dude, this movie's like crazy. It just
Yeah.
gets fucking crazy,
Yeah.
and this is crazier
Yeah, this is crazy and good time.
because Good Time gave me anxiety the whole movie.
Mm-hmm.
Where I'm just like, holy shit, dude, like.
Mm-hmm.
But he's doomed, but he's trying to get out of the situation.
Yeah.
In this movie, Adam Sandler actually
He's okay with being in a situation.
he's like, it's almost like he enjoys being fucked up
He's
situation.
Jewish. Isn't that like the whole thing with Jewish people?
Yeah,
I'm
this
not-
podcast isn't racist at all.
No. I know that it's a
I'm just
common
kidding.
thread. Like, have you ever seen you ever seen the Coen Brothers? What was that one where the poor guy he's having everything bad happen to him? I'm blanking on the name right now. But like that's the whole thing with
the
the
old ones. Right?
no. This is like the last 10 years. No, but that's the thing with like the Jewish faith. Like it's like the characters in the Bible. Like they suffer stuff. Like it's one of those like they're a long suffering people. I'm sorry. Like I mean they say it too. Like hey, like bad shit happens to us. That's what they say, right? So like it's
Yeah, but
something like he's like
but he's doing it to himself.
he's self-destructive. That's what self-destructive people do, right? It's
You know, I like to gamble. I don't gamble on the tip off of NBA games.
he did it like 3 times in this movie.
Yeah.
On a parlay. It's not even like a separate bet. This is a parlay. If he loses
I don't
that,
even know.
oh,
I don't even know a lot of bookies that would take that bet.
that's crazy, right? Yeah. I mean, it's supposed to be ridiculous too. I mean,
No,
it's-
there are bookies that will.
Yeah, yeah,
I just think
but, yeah.
I don't know any.
Yeah.
That would take the parlay with the tip off and the. And and it's funny because like I do gamble in sports, and in my head I'm like, how much money was that gonna pay? I was like, oh, that was a lot.
Yeah.
I was like,
Yeah, the one in the beginning. Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. It's
Then I'm like, why is this money line bet paying a lot? I'm like, oh, they were underdogs. I forgot.
yeah.
And it's like he wanted money line. He didn't want the points.
He got the points. Yeah.
Yeah. No, it is. It's almost okay. It's a movie that when it's over, you're almost glad it's over.
Yeah.
But you want to vote. You want to watch it again.
Exactly.
I don't know how else to say that.
It's like being afraid of roller coasters, but you still like going on roller coasters.
Right.
You know?
Yeah.
And let's do that again. I was scared shitless, but let's do that again.
Right.
Yeah. It's it's you know.
And
yeah.
that is how Good Time was too. It's like, okay, finally this is over.
Yeah.
It is, but this is different.
Definitely different.
And
That's what I loved about it. It was not Good Time.
Adam Sandler makes this movie work because
Yeah.
with, like I said, that I go back to a movie like Rounders.
Yeah.
I go, Edward Norton. No, you don't like him.
No, you don't like him at all.
Yeah.
He
Yeah.
shits over his friend. Yeah, he's not.
Yeah, and this guy is screwing people over the whole
Yeah.
movie too.
Yeah.
He's screwing over his family, screwing over people.
His brother-in-law.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Judge, was it Hirsch?
Yeah. No.
Oh no, that's his father-in-law.
No, I'm talking about his brother-in-law.
Oh,
The guy he owes money to.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, no, he screws over a lot of people, and you still rooting for him, and you don't know why.
Exactly. Yeah.
And
So
that's why it works.
love this film. Definitely gonna rewatch it. Definitely a rewatchable movie. All right, John. Getting down to the last few films. You're number 3. Top 3.
Number 3 is The Irishman.
So you have a little higher than me.
Yeah,
We talked a little
I think it is a movie that I have learned to appreciate because it's on Netflix.
Mm-hmm. So
I
you're
s-
able to rewatch it right away.
I saw it. Yeah, I saw it. Saw it with you.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, I saw it at the movie theater,
Yeah.
and I told her like there's Scorsese stuff in it.
Oh, I love it. Yeah. It's.
I don't like I said, we don't need to talk about it very long, but just the moment the first bullet goes off and there's blood on the wall,
Mm-hmm.
I'm hooked.
Yeah.
De Niro, Pacino, the cast, like De Niro, Pacino getting Pesci out of retirement.
Yeah. That was big.
I was hooked, and then I was like, you know what, the CGI thing didn't bother me.
Yeah.
In fact, I think this might be the best directed movie of the year.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
It might.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm just saying it might just because of what they pulled off over these decades.
A master of his craft doing what he does best.
Yeah. Just when they show, I just love when they just not ruin anything. They dispose of the guns in the same little like place in the water.
It's such a Scorsese thing, right?
Yeah,
Like the
and
routine is like.
they just show the underneath the water, just a pile of just guns.
That's
like,
such a
they said it could-
Scorsese
I think he even
thing.
says it could arm a small country or
That's
something.
such a Scorsese thing, a funny
Yeah.
like no other director is gonna think to do it like that.
Yeah.
Like that's a Scorsese thing.
Yeah, exactly. You just see just guns under the water just
Yeah.
because it's all the murders. It's like-
Yeah. And another director would have the audacity to try to do something like that. Do a scene like that.
forget like how cool this old guy is.
Yeah.
Like he is like he loves this like
He's a hip 80-year-old.
he loves this East Coast mob stuff.
Yeah.
And again, it's on Netflix. Watch it.
Love it.
Yeah, I love it. I got it. I got it at number 3. So
Okay. So my number 3, like I said, all these could have been my number 1. So I just did it in alphabetical order. So the next one, my number 3 is Once Upon a Time in Hollywood by Quentin Tarantino. I'm sure that's not a big surprise to you, John. We saw it. We didn't see this together, right?
yes, we did.
We did.
Yes.
Can't remember if we saw this together or not. As you know, I'm a big Tarantino fan.
Saw it opening night with you.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, I mean, this is
Matt has no other friends, and he begged me.
yes. No, I mean, this is Tarantino doing what he does best, and this is probably gonna win him an Oscar. I think. And we talked about it. I think this one. This is. I mean, he did a movie about Hollywood. People in Hollywood love movies about themselves. And this is such a this is it's so crazy. This is Tarantino making a movie about Hollywood, and it's such a Tarantino movie. Like he's a master of his craft, just like we say with Scorsese. It's such a Tarantino movie.
There's certain guys that just get it.
Yeah.
Yeah, Tarantino.
And this is what happens when you give Tarantino $100 million. He gives you this movie, and it's money well spent.
I'll give it to Robert Rodriguez. And
he'll make like 20 films. Give him $100 million.
95 million go missing.
But
he makes movies cheap though.
No, but like what's great about this movie? This is a hangout movie. Like this, there's not much that happens in this movie other than the ending. But like,
no, it's not.
It's set over 3 days. 2 of those days are consecutive. You see the contrasting lives. You see Leonardo DiCaprio's character, Rick Dalton, and you see the much more famous couple living next door, played by Margot Robbie, and I forget the actor's name who's playing Roman Polanski. But you see the contrast in their both their lives, how they live their lives in Hollywood, and how you can have two sets of actors, and one is not so famous, the other one is, and this is how your life looks like in Hollywood when you're a really famous actor and when you're a not so famous actor or has been actor, never been actor, and it's amazing. It's one of those films you can watch over and over and just hang out.
I did.
Yeah.
I saw it 3 times.
Yeah.
In theaters.
Yeah. Yeah. And you just hang out with these characters, and there's no scene that drags.
No, it's not. In fact, I think this was another movie that divided people, though.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, yeah.
Yeah, because because you know what, not to me, but I understand why. This is a long movie, right?
Yeah, it's a 2 hour and 40 something minute movie. Yeah, almost 3 hours.
Yeah, and we could say the same thing about Dr. Sleep was that long.
Yeah.
It never felt slow.
Never felt slow, yeah.
To me, The Irishman never felt slow.
Yeah.
And that's 3.5 fucking hours.
Almost 4 hours, yeah.
Or is it that long?
Yeah, it's 3.5 hours.
Okay. Yeah, this one I understand, especially if you want to think of this movie as 3 acts.
Yeah.
Did they do Act 1, Act 2, or 3? Did we just think of it that way?
We should think of it that way because it's 3 days. Yeah.
You're right, yeah. It's 3 days.
Yeah.
They're not consecutive days, right? Two
of them are, the last one isn't. That last one takes place like 6
the
months
last one,
later.
They go, because he's doing films overseas and stuff. Yeah. DiCaprio.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's 3 days. That's all we're watching. It's 3 days in 1969. Does it ever?
1969. Yeah.
Is it still 69 at the end of the movie?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Starts off in 69, ends in 69.
Yeah, and
the last day just happens to be a little bit more eventful. Yeah, it's like
right.
But it's not like there's not that much plot to it.
No, there's not. In fact, if someone were to ask me what it's about, it's DiCaprio's an aging movie star who's past his prime.
Yeah. He was never really that famous to begin with, and now he's really not that famous.
Yeah. Brad Pitt's his stunt double who's just...
He's hilarious. He probably going to win the Oscar if he gets nominated for Best Supporting.
Right.
I mean...
The only other one I could see competing with him, maybe Pesci. Do you think...
Maybe, yeah.
There's no chance De Niro would get a supporting. He would get a star because it's called The Irishman.
Yeah, he's the lead, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, he's the Irishman in The Irishman.
Yeah, so I say it has to be one of those two.
Yeah.
Pesci or, Brad Pitt. But,
yeah,
there's a lot. It is a movie that I say about a few movies that we've already talked about.
Mm-hmm.
You will appreciate it more in theaters.
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah.
But...
Watch
Watch it anyway.
Yeah, I bought the Blu-ray. And I watched it recently.
Tarantino, as we already know, he's a master at what he does, even though people think he's overrated. Some people.
Yeah.
But no, this man literally...
He loves the movies. He loves movies. You can tell.
He recreated 1969.
Yeah.
And he doesn't use...
It's crazy. Like, the streets.
Yeah, I saw something. It was like one of these quick like behind the scenes things, and they're like, you can't even see it, but he insisted that like this comic book or magazine from like 1969 be like way in the background in like a store when they're like flying by.
Yeah,
and those are some of the most beautiful shots I've seen in a long time.
Crazy because
when they're driving.
Yeah,
I would get super excited when I would see him get in the car.
Yeah.
And just speed down Hollywood Boulevard, and I'm just like, holy shit, this is great.
I was there recently, this past week, and I'm looking around. I was like, how the hell did he cover this up?
I was like, how the hell do you get permission to do it?
It's crazy. Like those are a lot of buildings. I mean, there's a reason it costs $100 million.
Yeah.
It was expensive to do, and I'm looking around. I'm like, how the hell does this look?
And there's some scene, and you know what though? This one was necessary to do what he did there. Well, I don't want to say necessary, but effective. It was worth it.
Yeah, it was worth it. Yeah.
Worth it is the right.
It was money well spent.
Right.
Because you'll have that forever on film.
Right. But then I see other movies that cost a lot of money where, which is the one, Vanilla Sky? I'm like, you guys shut down Times Square for this scene? And I'm not like shitting on the movie.
He did. He shut down Times Square.
Yeah, but I'm saying it doesn't add that much to the movie.
Yeah.
It wasn't that necessary.
It wasn't that, yeah.
Yeah, and it was, who made that movie?
Cameron Crowe.
Jerry Maguire guy, right? Yeah. And, that must have been expensive, but it wasn't essential.
Yeah, I mean, some people would say it was. But I mean, it wasn't as great of a film, so I guess it's one of those.
Yeah, yeah, but I mean, you see those things where you're like, how'd you get permission to do this?
Yeah, it's crazy. And, no, it's like I said, it's...
Everyone's great in it, too.
This is the reason I had a hard time, like, picking my number one, because I can't put Uncut Gems above Once Upon a Time, and I can't put Once Upon a Time above Uncut Gems. Like, they both worked on me in different things, different ways. Like, I wasn't as anxiety filled with Once Upon a Time. It's a completely different film, but I had just as much enjoyment in theaters.
Right.
Yeah. So.
No, when I see, and it's funny how, same thing last year. My number one was Hereditary.
Mm-hmm.
I saw that fucking movie 4 times
in theaters. Yeah, I saw it twice.
In theaters, I think. Maybe 4. I think it was 4.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I loved it. I saw this one 3 times, so I think you already know where we're going. But let's keep going. Where we got?
Okay, so we're on your number 2, John.
Not much to talk about. Uncut Gems.
Uncut Gems. Okay, we just talked about it.
Yeah, not much to talk about. Adam Sandler makes the movie. Really does make the movie, but the Safdie brothers also make.
Oh, they're great.
Yeah, whatever they're doing.
I can't wait for. Apparently, their next movie is gonna. There was originally gonna be a remake of 48 Hours, and now it's like they're gonna use the same script, but they're taking a different approach. So I can't wait. Like it's just I can't wait. Their style is so unique. Like I love it.
Yeah, I really think they're just trying to like induce a panic attack inside.
Yeah, I'm gonna die of a heart attack watching one of their movies one of these days.
In fact, I feel like watching Good Time right now.
Yeah.
No, it really is.
As soon as we stop this podcast, John's gonna put on.
Yeah, it's.
And we're both gonna have a heart attack.
They like stressful. They like to put.
I love it. Yeah, I love it.
And they like to put. They find a way to make you as stressed, not as stressed, but feel a lot of the stress of the main character.
Yeah,
you're there.
Exactly.
You're in the moment.
Yeah.
If that makes sense.
Yeah. No. Yeah.
A Good Time was in one night. This is over a few days, I think.
Yeah, a few days.
And it's like, Jesus Christ, dude, what are you doing?
Yeah.
Anyway, we talked about it, but yeah, Adam Sandler should get a nomination.
Definitely. Okay, so my next one, John, is something we already talked about, so probably won't take long. Midsommar. Yeah, I know you had it in your number 10, but for me, it was better than Hereditary. And I know I loved Hereditary, but this movie worked on me because I did not see this coming. I really thought it was gonna be it's gonna be like Hereditary. It's gonna be a good horror movie. Good follow-up. This is completely different.
I'm surprised you have it this high.
Yeah, I loved it. Like
I liked it a lot too.
Yeah, it's an unusual film. It's a film that's hard to watch.
Where'd you have Hereditary last year?
I can't remember. It was on my top 5, but it wasn't like I didn't.
It wasn't in your top 10 though, right?
It wasn't in my top 10. Yeah.
Okay. It's crazy how that was my one last year, And then it's my 10 this year.
Yeah. No, it's this movie, and this is the thing. I've only watched it once,
Me too.
and it's one of those films like I would have a hard time rewatching it, but I do want to rewatch it, obviously. But that's how much of an effect it had on me. It's scary. It's a scary film. It's a super scary film.
There's a
'Cause it can happen.
scene, and we'll leave it vague, and we both know it,
Uh-huh.
where it just establishes from the beginning, like, hey, shit's fucked up.
Yeah, I know.
And
Yeah.
it's like, yeah,
Yeah,
it's, that the parents are
Yeah,
chilling.
yeah. It's ugh. But
And
yeah,
and
there's
I'm
not much.
just like,
There's not much more I can add without giving too much away. But it's definitely go see it. Definitely see it. But know that you're gonna be disturbed after. So
yeah, I could not leave it out of my 10.
Yeah.
I really do like what this guy's done, Ari
Yeah.
Aster.
yeah, he's good. All right, John. Now we're down. What's your number one?
know
film?
what it is.
What is your number one film,
Once
John?
Upon a Time in Hollywood.
Yes.
Saw
We
it
just talked
3
about it.
times.
Number one.
Loved it. Visually fantastic.
Mm-hmm.
Acting fantastic. There's a lot of shit. I did not know how he was going to end it,
Yeah, it's
and I loved how he ended it.
yeah, it's perfect. It's perfect ending. Perfect ending. It's probably one of the better
And
endings
it-
he's ever had in his movies.
And it is easy now, like especially because they give you dates, to just divide the movie into 3 acts.
Yeah, great film.
Yeah. And something real quick that they did. What is that thing where they like that nerdy play thing? It's like a Russian thing. It's like, oh, you show the
Chekhov's gun.
Yeah.
They did Chekhov's gun. Yeah.
yeah,
they did.
but did you see it?
no, I didn't. I did not. He
That-
tricked the fuck out of me. I was pissed off. He was able to trick me, but like a plot is like that is fucking genius.
I was gonna say exactly
you know what- you know
because you
what's-
feel like it's over. You
Yeah.
feel like what they showed you
Was-
was just for the moment.
Yeah.
You don't feel like
No.
it's not like. And I'll give a quick example, like the movie Crash.
Yeah. You
Yeah,
knew it was
there's a
coming.
literal gun.
Gun.
You can. That's how I make it simple.
Yeah.
It's not always a gun. Sometimes it's something. It's a book.
And you know what's crazy? We should have seen it coming. But it's one of those like
No, no.
Tarantino. You know he's gonna go there, but
because he throws so much shit at you.
Yeah, that's what it is. That's what
He
it is.
throws so much shit at you.
He knows
that-
how to hide it. He's a
And it's
master
all-
storyteller. He's a master storyteller.
And I'm like, this. I go, this is how you resolve the conflict at the end. I go, you
And
brought
then-
it back.
And I love I want to try to it's for people who haven't seen it. Like at the end when he's talking to Sharon Tate, or he's talking to what's his name, Sharon Tate's ex fiance, and he's like, and he's telling him what happened. He goes, "I'm glad I kept that fucking thing." Like
Mhm.
you're like, yeah, it's like,
But I can't even remember the last time I was that fooled.
yeah, it's so crazy, and it's it's one of the perfect reveals all year.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That's why I really thought about it. I'm like, you brought that shit back to resolve the conflict at the end? I go, that's fucking great.
that's genius. That was genius. Yeah. Yeah, I forgot about that. Yeah, you're right. It's genius.
Yeah, and that made me like it even more. I was like, dude, I did not see that coming back.
And it's funny because like I meant actually my number 10 film had a little bit of that, but I already saw it coming. But I still
What was
liked
your
it.
10?
The Art of Self Defense. They had like a
okay.
Chekhov's gun situation there too, but you see it coming. But yeah, no, Tarantino hit it really well.
Oh yeah,
He's a genius
I
storyteller.
thought that was just a moment in the moment.
He's a top 5 storyteller of all time in terms of movies.
Absolutely, his
yeah.
stories are
Yeah, they're so well thought out.
yeah.
Well, John, my number 1 is something we already talked about. I mean, like I said, my top 4 were gonna be number 1. You probably already guessed it because I texted you right after I saw it how much I loved it. But it's Knives Out.
Okay.
We already talked ad nauseum about it, but yeah, I loved it. It's just, it left me really
Like again, screenplay great,
great. Yeah, Ryan Johnson's such a
screenplay great, casting great.
such a great writer director.
I don't know if there is a better whodunit movie.
Yeah, it's
I really started thinking, it's like good. No
Clue, like in
Yeah,
terms of funny, like being funny, but yeah, it's such a great whodunit.
Yeah. The overacting is fantastic.
Yeah.
It is kind of comedic.
Seen it twice in movies, loved it both times. It's like, yeah.
Yeah. No,
All right, John. That's our top 10 of 2019, John. It's an exhaustive list.
I know.
Different.
A lot of work. Any honorable mentions?
All right. You know what? I had 14. I put
right.
And for different reasons. I'll go.
Go through them quick.
We'll go for, at Astra. It could have been better. The story is a little slow, but I still liked it.
I missed it, and I feel like I can't get the same effect if I
Yeah,
don't
yeah,
see it in
yeah.
theaters.
You have to see it in theaters.
It's like Gravity.
Yeah, it's like exactly. Bombshell. Story was a little slow. They could have been done. The acting is great. Charlize Theron, Nicole Kidman, Margot Robbie, great in it. So that's why I'm recommending it. Captain Marvel, great Marvel film. Child's Play. Did not expect to like this as much. Thought it was gonna be a shitty horror film. It surprised me. Cold Pursuit, hilarious. Liam Neeson.
Forgot about that one.
Yeah, I loved Cold Pursuit. Ford versus Ferrari, just good performances. The story was okay. The directing was okay. Just I love seeing Matt Damon. He's one of my favorite actors. Just did a bang up job. Happy Death Day to You. Didn't love it as much as the original.
I just snorted.
Yeah. It Chapter 2 was super flawed, but I still liked it. It's still a great horror film. Like I said, Joker. It barely missed my top 10. I already talked about it a little bit. Pet Sematary. It surpassed the original for me.
Really?
I loved Pet Sematary. Such a great horror movie to me. Shaft. I think you're next to me. I don't think I laughed more than I ever laughed during Shaft. I love this. I loved how over the top this film was.
Yeah, I forgot about it.
Yeah.
It was very funny.
Yeah.
It was hilarious.
You heard. I was laughing the whole movie.
Well, so was I. I forgot about it.
Yeah. Spider-Man: Far From Home. I just like Spider-Man. The Addams Family, a cartoon. Did not expect to like it. It wasn't terrible. At one point it was in my top 10. I was trying to build this top 10, but it's a really great family film. And then my last honorable mention, The Peanut Butter Falcon, a great indie film. That's all I can say about it.
That's not too bad. Okay, let me do mine real quick. Let's see what I got. Let's see what I got. No particular order, but this one really was in my top 10. I had to cut it. I did go get to see Queen and Slim the other night.
Oh, okay.
And I liked it a lot.
Mm-hmm.
And it is a movie about racism.
Mm-hmm.
Honestly, it's basically Black Bonnie and Clyde.
Oh, okay.
I mean, that's what I think they even say in the movie. Yeah.
Yeah.
And maybe I would appreciate it more. I'm not white.
I know.
But if I was black.
Yeah. No,
But I get what they were trying to do, and I've seen movies try to do this ever since, let's say, like Fruitvale Station.
Yeah.
That kind of started this kind of thing to me.
And that was a good movie.
Yeah, it is a good movie. And then that guy started boxing and shit, right?
Yeah.
But anyway, it's very good. I like it. You're rooting for him, but they're in a shitty situation.
All right.
Ready or Not, fun movie.
That's a fun movie. Yeah.
Really fun movie. Liked it a lot.
I like that one.
Yeah, it's good comedy horror. John Wick Chapter 3, you've discussed it. Yeah. Almost had it in there. Ford versus Ferrari.
All right.
Comedy, Good Boys.
Okay.
That was a funny movie for me because I'm tired of the lack of raunchy comedies.
That was good. I liked it. Yeah.
I liked that they were able to come back and just make one like that.
Yeah.
Us, which was in your top 10.
Yeah.
One that was funny that barely got in here was Sword of Trust.
Okay.
It's that Mark Maron movie, which is funny.
I never saw that one, but I remember you telling me. Yeah.
Yeah, and Mark Maron's actually a good actor.
He's a great actor. I like him. Yeah.
Yeah, he's a very good actor.
Yeah.
Child's Play, I have.
Yeah, I love Child's Play. Yeah.
I just added Cold Pursuit in the moment.
Okay.
Forgot about it. Liked it a lot.
Yeah.
Peanut Butter Falcon, you mentioned.
Yeah.
You know which one I actually paid to see, and I was disappointed because of the hype, was The Lighthouse.
Oh, okay. I almost saw that one. Okay.
Directed by the same guy as The Witch.
Okay.
And you know what, though? I wasn't disappointed, but I'm saying I would have left it off if I didn't like it. I liked it, but I didn't. I was expecting a lot more.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's just two guys going crazy at a lighthouse. I learned more about lighthouses than I ever thought I would.
Okay.
And I'm gonna have to give it. I'm gonna have to give a mention to Marriage Story. It's on Netflix.
Okay.
Two good actors, great actors. They'll probably get a best. They probably will both get some sort of Academy Award nomination.
Yeah. Yeah.
Had a few problems with it, but And you know what I'm gonna say that's gonna divide people? It Chapter 2 was at least ambitious.
Yeah, it was ambitious.
It was ambitious
It's
to
not like
try to
flawed.
continue.
It was flawed, but
yeah, it had some problems.
I don't mind a flawed movie if it's trying to be ambitious.
And you know what it did?
Mhm.
It really took advantage of that rated R.
Yes, it did.
And that's why
Yeah,
I liked it.
Well, John, we're running out of time. I'm gonna rush us out, but that is our top movies of 2019. Hopefully, 2020 is as enjoyable. We will see you next time. Bye bye.